Hi, everybody, and welcome to our week number 5 Twitch live stream. Looks like the audio is working this week, which is good. I know last week we ran into some issues, so I had to do a little recording. Sorry about that, but hopefully everything is coming through all right this week. Can everyone hear me and see me okay? If someone can give me like a yes or a thumbs up in the chat, that would be amazing, just so I know. But it looks like I can see it moving on my end, so that's a good sign. Can you all hear and see me just fine? Yes. Okay, great. Awesome. I'm so glad. I'm always so sad when I'm ready to go and then it just doesn't work for whatever reason. And sometimes when it rains or it's windy or whatever, the internet doesn't cooperate. So, anyway, let's go ahead and jump over to Canvas together and take a look at where we're at. We are right here, week number 5. I can't even believe that we are past the halfway point of our 8-week class that we have together. So just a little bit of feedback from the last 2 weeks, and then we'll talk about what we have going on this week. So most of you did a great job on discussions 5, 6, 7, and 8. I also saw some really great scores on exam number 2, so really nicely done. Let's take a quick look at the discussions that you turned in. And I graded them Monday night like always and sent out some feedback. A lot of you really interesting describing your dreams and kind of looking at what they mean. Biggest reason that people lost points on this one was not really elaborating on the dream theories, not giving me quite enough information about how the dream theory itself connected to the dream. Or a couple of people missed this last question of why do you personally think that we dream? But again, for the most part, really nicely done. A lot of you did a beautiful job on that one. The next one, discussion number 6, looking at learning. A little bit harder, the concept of conditioning is definitely one of the more challenging ones in this class. And the biggest reason people lost points here was some of the pranks some of the utilizations of classical conditioning that you described were more operant conditioning than classical. So I was looking for you to describe how you could classically maybe condition yourself for something. Biggest reason people lost points was giving me something like with a reward or punishment, which would traditionally mean we were talking about operant conditioning. Don't forget to also continue replying to a classmate. There's still a few of you that are forgetting to do this. And I know it's only 2 points, but they're very easy 2 points, and I would hate for you to miss out on them. I also appreciated your responses to the self-assessment. Great job kind of reflecting on where you are at so far and if there's anything that you feel like you need to change as you move forward. But a lot of you seem to be happy with your grades. I'm seeing a lot of really great scores on exams and discussions, so that's fantastic. A lot of you also utilizing the extra credit from these live streams, which again is great. And remember that if you can't join me live, you can always watch these later as a recording as long as you're subscribed on Twitch, and then you can still get those points for participating. Discussion 7 on memory. I enjoyed a lot of your little stories that you came up with for how you would memorize that 28-digit sequence of letters and numbers. A lot of you came up with a little story, kind of like I did, which I think is fantastic. No worries, I'm glad you're here, even if you're late. That's okay. Thank you for joining. And so, again, great job. The biggest reason people lost points here, some of you kind of used the same method for seconds versus days, and I was really looking for you to describe different ones. Or some of you said, I came up with a story, but you didn't give me the story, and I wanted you to give me all of it. So that was the number one reason people lost points for that discussion. And then for discussion number 8, this one was related to cognition, great descriptions of intelligence and definitions of intelligence. Few of you struggled a little bit here. I wanted you to give me a little bit more. Some of you said standardization, reliability, and validity, but you didn't really elaborate. I would say that was the biggest reason people lost points on this one. Again, please remember, if you're losing a couple of points here and there, try and give me a little bit more. Elaborate a little bit more in your responses, and hopefully that will get you closer to full points. Okay. The other thing we had, obviously, in the last 2 weeks is we had exam number 2. A lot of really great scores. I brought those over into Canvas on Monday. There were several of you who got 100%, a lot of A's, a couple of scores that were lower. So just continue to use these as a learning opportunity. If you are doing well, keep it up. If you wish you had done a little better, you can kind of mess around a little bit with how you're studying. If you're not doing the study guide, consider trying that this time around, or studying a little bit more like you would for a traditional in-person test. Otherwise, with that, we kind of move on to this next 2 weeks, weeks 5 and 6, which started on Monday. We are looking this week at chapter 9 and 10, motivation and emotion. Two very core topics to psychology. Next week, we move to human development and personality. But since we're in week 5, let's focus on week 5 and look at what we have going on this week. So as always, you have 2 chapters to read this week. So make sure you're doing 3 things for each chapter. Reading the chapter in the ebook, reading through the lecture, and watching the lecture video. And those 3 things together will hopefully give you a really good understanding of the chapter and the materials. Once you've done the reading and lectures and lecture videos for chapters 9 and 10, you can work on the 2 discussions. We also have another self-assessment this week, and you'll see these every time we start a new unit, kind of giving you an opportunity to reflect on where you're at, especially as we pass the halfway point of our class. So let's look at discussions 9 and 10 together and kind of look at what we have going on. As always, you have my instructions and then my video. And so for the first one, discussion 9, we're looking at motivation, kind of a lighter, discussion this week. You're looking at fad diets, something that are very, very popular in our culture. So you're going to pick a fad diet that you've either heard of or tried, or maybe somebody that you know has tried or heard of. You're going to describe the main components of it, how it works, what you're required to do, what you're required to eat or not eat, what is the timeline for results, what are the advantages and disadvantages of your diet, the pros and cons, the rewards and dangers, all kind of getting at the same thing. And then finally, what role do you think the media, movies, television, music, magazines, and so on, play in contributing to negative self-views that often accompany a desire to lose weight and or eating disorders such as anorexia and bulimia. And this is the one where I'm looking for kind of you to really elaborate and connect some of the materials from the chapter to what you're talking about. When you're ready, you'll hit reply. And then of course, don't forget to reply to a classmate to also get those 2 points of credit. The other discussion that we have this week, discussion number 10, this one's related to emotions. So again, you have my instructions at the top, followed by my video. With this one, we're looking at those theories of emotion. So you're going to come up with an emotional reaction and then explain it from all 3 different theories. So you're going to give me like a little scenario that led to an emotion, and then you're going to describe the chain of events from the James Lange, Cannon-Bard, and Schachter-Singer or 2-factor theory. So this can be something that you make up, or it can be something that happened to you, but you're going to describe, how can we look at the chain of events from each of the 3 theories? Have fun, be creative with it if you want to. Totally up to you whether it's real or made up. But make sure it's all 3 theories. And I'm looking that you can describe, what was the physiological reaction, and then what happened next, and what happened next from each of those 3 perspectives. You're also going to talk about what are some ways to spot a lie. You can reference the lecture or your own personal experiences, but give me some ways that you can spot when someone is lying and be specific. And then I gave you a video just for fun. It's getting a little old. I should remake it with some new statements. But what did you, if you would like, I made a 2 truths and a lie video. And so you could always watch that and see if you can guess which one is the lie. I will let you know in the feedback that I give once these 2 weeks is over, which one is the lie. But I practiced. I'm an awful liar, but I gave it my best shot. So when you're ready, you'll reply. And then again, don't forget to reply to a classmate to get those 2 points. The other thing that you have this week, as I mentioned a moment ago, is you do have a second self-assessment. Just another opportunity to reflect on your progress. It is worth 5 points, so please don't forget to do it. But please be honest. This is meant for you as a way to kind of see, are you happy with what you're doing? Is there anything you want to change for the last half of the class? There's no time limit, but it is a chance for reflection, so please make sure you do complete that. I will, of course, post the recording of this a little later today. I'm enjoying this beautiful rainy weather that we have, and it's supposed to rain even more tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully my roof hangs in there, but I'm still excited for the rain. I love the rain so much. And then I have some reminders and announcements for you. If you have any questions for me, this would be a great time to put them in the chat. Otherwise, a couple of quick reminders. Please remember each week to just double check your subscription status, looking at the chat like Raquel and Angela, see how you no longer have your little football cakes next to your name. So yours has expired. Make sure you renew it so you get that little football cake. Or if you're watching this later as a recording, make sure you're subscribed so you can still get those points. The other reminder I have for you, if you're looking ahead to next week, which is the 19th, I can't believe we're already like halfway through February. Our next Twitch live stream will be on Wednesday, February 12th at 11:45 a.m. Okay, so that'll be our live stream next week where we'll look at week number 6. We'll talk about exam number 3 and the materials for next week. The other thing I do have for you, resubscribe on Amazon. So you go to my page on Twitch. Like, for example, I don't know if I can show you on my page, but you go to, let's see if I can find somebody else. Hold on one second. So Twitch. So let's say, let me go to like a football page that I sometimes follow here. So what you would do is if you were on somebody's like page on Twitch, not sure why it's not working here, but you go to like their channel and there's an option if you go right here, see how it says subscribe right here underneath their channel. When you click on this, there's going to be all the way at the bottom, see how it says use Prime Sub, and that's going to be your way that you can resubscribe for free for another 30 days. For whatever reason, the free subscription's only good for 30 days. I think they're hoping you forget. So if you scroll down and you click on that little use Prime Sub spot right there, let me move this up so you can see it a little better. But it's down here at the bottom where it says that, and then you resubscribe for free for 30 more days. Yeah, you're welcome. And then the instructions for that are also on Canvas here on that page if you want to go back and figure that out. Let me give you the extra credit question. I did type this out earlier so that it would be ready to go. I'm going to put it in the chat for you here. So this is the week number 5 Twitch extra credit question related to motivations. Let me put this here in the chat and we'll go back. So what is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? Explain and give me an example of each. So what is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? Explain and give me an example of each. And when you're ready to do that, you'll go to our Canvas page. And since we're in week number 5, you'll click on optional Twitch extra credit number 5 right here. And then up at the top, click on start assignment. And that will bring up the box where you can type your response. Okay, and hit submit. You get your little confetti burst and pandas. Okay, why it's always so random, right? But that is due sometime before the end of this 2-week section. So make sure that you do that sometime before the end of these 2 weeks, which is February 23rd, Sunday, February 23rd at 11:59 p.m. So again, kind of short and sweet today. My internet's been a little spotty, so I was trying to get through it quickly before it gave us problems. I think we were okay, so fingers crossed. But I will hang out for a few minutes. If you do have any questions for me, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful day, that you enjoy our beautiful rainy weather, stay dry, and I will hope to see you all next week for our next live stream. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or of course you can always email me later if you think of something a little bit later. So I'm going to write thank you here in the chat. Thank you for all of you joining me live, or if you're watching this later as a recording, thank you for that too. You're welcome. Thank you as well. Have a wonderful week. I'm going to minimize my video. I was hoping my cat Rolly would come nearby. It's his birthday today. He's turning 6. But he knows better, I think, than to come anywhere near me when I'm when I'm on the computer, right? Right? He's 6. That's crazy. And he's such a big boy. I bought him like a special dinner tonight, so hopefully he'll be excited for that. Anyway, wish him a happy birthday for you. I will. He says happy birthday. Looking at me like I'm crazy. Really? Really? Oh, maybe. Really? Let's see if he comes. Yeah, hey buddy. Come here. Oh, the people want to see you. Oh my gosh. So really. So here he is. Here's my big cat. It's his birthday today, right? He's such a big boy. he's a two-hander for sure. And now he's mad at me. But that's okay. Right. Yeah, he's very cute, very chunky. But I love him. He's my favorite. Anyway, have a wonderful day, everyone. I'm gonna minimize my video now that he left me, just so that I'm not staring at myself. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Have a wonderful week, and I'll hope to see you all next week for our next live stream. And like I said, I am still here and we'll hang out for a few minutes if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will hope to see you next week. Thank you so much. I love that you called him a little guy. He's so big. I got a good laugh out of that. But thank you so much. Have a wonderful week.